G'day Rugby League lovers, welcome to the Footy Talk podcast. Wado, Woodsy and Maroon, another wonderful week it has been. And really another week to congratulate you, Wado, on your last NRL general round game.
It's the farewell tour.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like the Billy Joel farewell tour. And mate, but you and your two beautiful little boys, you went through and you stopped and gave them both a hug and sent them on their way. And mate, these are money can't buy moments.
Yeah, it is. They are nice moments for me and the family. I know it's getting a bit of a running joke now at Cronulla with all the boys. It's like, what are we celebrating for Wade this week, at the start of meetings? But listen, I feel really fortunate and grateful with how things have gone for me the last probably 4 or 5 weeks. There's no guarantees in sport, in rugby league. It just so happens that the timing and the opportunity to celebrate some things for myself, some milestones, some celebrations, some wrapping up, they've all fallen. The cards have fallen good for me this last little period. So Sunday was awesome. Father's Day, Sunday afternoon at PointsBet. My old man was in the crowd. My family was there. My boys were on the ground. It was wonderful. I had such a great occasion there. Bit emotional at the end, walking around and seeing all the fans. Really humbling to see how much support and how much love that I got. But now that we're here, I'm glad that it's over. It's done. We're in September. We get another home game this week, but It's not about the way Graham's farewell tour this week. It's about us playing finals footy and trying to keep our 2023 season going. I know Charlie, our producer, read it off a while ago, but we bucked him. We need him to write us off this week so we can keep going forward.
Woodsy, and congratulations. You guys not only went out on a win, but you put 50 on your opposition.
Yeah, it was a great win. Obviously, both sides didn't really have much to play for. We did, obviously. You pride and respect for everyone else, and it was a good day for us, actually. We got, Jake Travojevich's 200th game, and it was a really good crowd, but I'm just happy for my mate. He gets another game back at, Shark Park.
Yeah.
It's really good for Wado. 13 years of service to the club.
Yeah. It's
first ever grand final win for Cronulla. He deserves to go out. Not many people get that opportunity. He's had a couple now, so it's awesome to see.
Well, as I say to both of you, and I have said with all sincerity, to play as many games as you both have, and to have played Origin, and to have ticked off all those wonderful things, the average player probably plays, I think, 30, 40 games, and here you are, both around the 3 mark, and it's just absolutely wonderful. And, when you both finish, you'll come here and work with me at Triple M. We'll do the Wado Woodsy World Tour of New South Wales, as we've discussed. But look, it's obviously traditionally we're at Mad Monday kind of time. Have you got any stories? So obviously you have to miss out for a few weeks, Wado, but Woodsy, Manly, a lot of effort this year. You didn't get to the 8, but any Mad Monday things going on?
Yeah, look, probably the only good thing about not being able to make semis probably 2 weeks before is you're able to plan what you had ahead. So we've just got a couple of things planned, for tomorrow. But for us, for some stories, obviously they're hard to tell on here because of sort of what goes on Mad Monday.
It's like a Christmas party,
yeah, it's
right?
It's
like our Christmas party.
Trips away.
Yeah, well, you get to the end of the working year, right, and the Christmas party. There's always a couple of stories and people getting out of line and probably doing things that they shouldn't be doing at the Christmas party. Which is at the wrap of the season. But Mad Mondays for us is our Christmas party. There's all the build-up of the year, all the stress, the pressure relief of the week in, week out grind is off. So everyone gets to kick their feet up and have a couple of beers, a few too many.
But you got to have too many.
You got to have too many. It's your Christmas party. You got to have too many. And occasionally there's people that tip over into the areas and they wake up the next morning really wishing that they didn't.
Yep.
But hey, it's a part of life and everyone goes through it, and it's a good time to wrap up the season.
Which is probably 90% of the squad. Look, at Tigers, it was good fun because I think we made the semi-finals twice out of 8 years, so we always got to plan. And, there's one year where we had a great year. We planned, you obviously go on the boat like a lot of blokes because the thing is, Mitchell Moses' uncle, Joey Elias, he runs all-occasion cruises, so they always tend to get a lot of the boys on, and you have a good time.
I've been on a few of those.
Our great mate Arthur Laundy owns a few pubs, so I always used to ring Arthur, can we hire a section off at the pub, and he'd always pop in, come say hello when we're in a decent state.
He's a good man, Arthur.
He's a great man, Arthur.
100%.
But then there was one year we had a lockdown at the Red Lion at Rozelle. We've been there since probably 10 in the morning, and we're going nuts. And then got to about 5 or 6 in the arvo, and you could just tell the boys need some food. Like they need a recharge.
Yeah.
So we went back. There's a restaurant in Leichhardt called Customola, and we'd go there, and a lot of people were just having a general feed on a Monday night, pizza, pasta, and then we've come in about 30 blokes, and we were just, mate, we had the back room there. Next thing you know, we had people that were going out having a normal Monday night dinner. They come in and had a couple of beers with us, and it all just teed off. So we got the party started again. And then it wasn't that far away, I think. I don't know if Wado was probably there, but I've seen Wado a few times on a Monday at a place called Scuba.
Scuba.
So it's like it's a backpacker joint. It goes nuts on a Monday night. Mate, you can wear whatever you want in there. You can get as loose as you want.
And at this certain time, it always goes off on a Monday night, right?
Yes.
So it is a bit of a colliding of the world, should we say, or colliding of the NRL teams.
So every Sydney team tends to just come together. AFL, I've been with the Swannies there before. I've had a couple of beers with Jude Bolton there.
Where is this joint?
I don't think it's there anymore. It's at Central Station, like it's on the bottom of one of the buildings there.
Right.
I don't know if it's still around, but
it used to be funny, but because like a lot of the players, you come across players throughout the year, you know them when you play rep footy or not, or play juniors against each other. So you have a quiet little catch up, maybe a beer with a bloke from another team. But the players that you don't know, these are all there for the same reason, right? So you have a beer in your hand, you might catch the eyes of a player from opposite team, just give him a little nod, a little sip of the beers, and you go on about your night. It's a funny little world that when you
It was a great joint. You'd have the crab races as well.
Yeah.
You'd back a crab, so there's a bit of punting going on down there as well. It's good fun.
Chicka White would know. Is that place still there, Chicka? Right.
2017 it shut down, sadly.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
COVID,
gone.
COVID got another one.
Yeah.
But is sidebar still open?
Yeah, sidebar's there.
Sidebar's still there. Yeah,
still going.
sidebar's
Yeah,
still there.
yeah,
We used to
yeah.
go around the corner when you get kicked out of Scuba, which was very, very difficult to get kicked out of Scuba. But some people,
If you got kicked out of there, you got problems.
Yeah, you got to go. It's time to go. Time to
You
go.
know,
home.
you know what hurt us? The lockout rule. Like King's Cross was
Yeah.
awesome. Me and Wade had some good times.
yeah, the back room in the cross.
Yeah.
Now, boys, we better get stuck into a bit of talking about what's actually going on in the game. Sharks had a win yesterday. A couple of big issues to come out of that game was the tackle from Sebastian Chris. The Katoa got straight back to his feet, but gee, it looked ugly.
Yeah, listen, I think being on the field at the time, definitely no malice, no intent behind it. It was just a high-speed collision. He hit him around the hips, got him into that dangerous position, and unfortunately, he landed straight on his head. Like, it's probably the worst one I've seen
Long
in quite
time.
a while. And thankfully, but I'm saying it was a complete accident. Complete accident, didn't mean it. But he did get into a dangerous position, and, I'm just thankful that Sione's okay. He bounced up straight away. And, obviously there'll be a bit to go on tonight. He'll have to go and front the judiciary, but
I think he took 5 weeks.
he took it?
Yeah,
He
took
took
the
it?
5 weeks.
Okay, yeah. Well, it was an accident, but it went wrong, and
Yeah.
it could have been seriously,
It could have.
been really serious for Sione. But thankfully,
How good was it to see Sione get straight
yeah,
back up?
yeah.
Like,
It was one of those moments on the field
yeah.
where my stomach dropped straight away when I seen it, and then he rolled over and bounced back up, and I was like,
Thank God.
yeah, thank God. So it was just, but complete accident.
And
There
good
was
to
no malice
see,
in it.
good to see, like shake hands afterwards.
Yeah.
There's like no hand between the legs, no second effort. It was just a driving tackle. And Sione's a wriggler. He's hard to get a hold of. He's like,
Yeah.
but to his credit, got straight back up. Really good to see
Well,
no
I think
injuries.
because he went up and was in the contest, right?
Yeah.
He got up, he came down, he was moving at speed, he spun around, and Sebastian Chris just hit him
Yep.
perfectly in the hips. And sometimes when you get that timing right and you hit the right spot at the right time, players are actually almost weightless because of the momentum. So he just sort of followed on with the tackle and just got, really bad, unfortunately, really quick. But he's taking the weeks and Sione's okay, so we'll just move on and get on to the final series.
This will be good this week. Fitzy, your coach, Craig Fitzgibbon versus Robo. This is a home semi now for you guys because of the win against Canberra. But this is where a lot of people, I have to say, I think this is nonsense that you take a home semi to Cronulla.
Why?
And, well, what can you get in there at the moment? 12,000 people? I mean, what is this, Bush League? We're going to play.
They've earned the right.
Well, okay, just a second.
They've got to have
Just
a home ground
second.
advantage, mate.
Just a second. It's an NRL match. It's a National Rugby League match.
Yeah.
It's a showcase time for the NRL. So what are we going to have? 50,000 at Suncorp. We're going to have probably packed house at Penrith at Bluebet Stadium, and we're going to have 12,000 at PointsBet Stadium.
Which is a packed house at Shark Park.
Well, why don't we all just drive our cars in and park them on the hill? This is ridiculous. They need to move it out of there. Take it to a neutral ground.
My thing is, I understand that argument, Maroon, for sure, and there's going to be a lot of people who miss out on tickets that want to go there. I understand that, but it's our home. I think when we're in our position, when you're 5th or 6th, if that's your position, you're in an elimination final, you do earn that right to play at home. But my thing would be, I'm not one of the heavy hitters, but some of the heavy hitters have got to go in there and sort this out. Like, we can't have all this work at Brookvale, all this work out at Penrith, the new stadium built, Shark Park there now, have all that new infrastructure there. It's going to be a hub of sport there, not just rugby league, a hub of sport there with the Leeds Club, the hotels, the restaurants. Mate, there needs to be some funding down there to redo that stadium. Yeah. I don't know who needs to pitch that. I know Dino and Steve Mace on the board have been pitching hard, asking for funding to redo that stadium, but the Sharkies need a bit of help here from the NRL, from the government. It needs to be updated and a stadium that matches the facility and the infrastructure down there. Yeah. So I think I get it. There's going to be a lot of people who miss out on tickets there because of the capacity, and hopefully we can advance and go to a bigger stadium deeper into the finals. But I think it's about time Shark Park gets necessary funding for an upgrade.
Mate, for me, I reckon they deserve the right to play there. I know it only fits 12,000, but you speak to any other side, speak to the Roosters. Where would you hate to play Cronulla Sharks at?
Yeah, but you're
a 12,000 packed stadium, and they're getting absolutely hammered.
You're a selfish person, Woodsy.
Well, I want to go to next week. I want to win and go to next week.
I would think that, we look at the bigger picture.
What do you think of South Sydney playing at Redfern Oval?
Well, I mean, South Sydney haven't played at Redfern Oval since 1987.
But I'm just saying, if they had a packed crowd there, majority would be a South Sydney supporter. It'd be daunting to be an opposition team going there.
All that matters to us players is winning, mate.
Yeah, I understand.
Where are we going to get the most advantage playing and an opportunity to win? It's at our home. So that's where we get the home semi, so we want to play there. But I get the argument.
I get what Maroon's saying, but you've earned the right to go play there.
But 12,000, Woodsy. If it was 20,000 or
it's on Channel 9 or Fox, they can watch it there as well.
Well, I just think
Hey, let's build a stadium there that holds 20,000.
These aren't normal circumstances. This place is undergoing renovations at the moment. It's a hole. It's a shock and joy.
For you, it is. And guess what? It's a hole for opposition teams
exactly
too.
Right. Yeah. You hate going there, mate. The sheds are putrid in the away sheds. They got to go in there in the tiniest sheds. These blokes have got a luxury on the other side.
All right, I get your point, but we're talking 12,000 people, and it's 202023. We need to have
they should
bigger
venues.
Venues.
They should stay home and listen to us on Triple M. Call the game.
We need you to go into bat for us, right, mate? Yeah. You've gone straight to the top for the numbers on the jerseys. Going to stop.
Nothing happened.
Go to the top. Go to the top for funding for a new stadium at Cronulla.
And when they do up the stadium at Cronulla, Dino, I love you, mate. I know you listen. I know the media area. I know there's not a lot of people, but we could probably have more than one toilet if that's okay. Congratulations to the 8 teams that did make the finals. Of the 8 that didn't, some of them pat on the back, good effort, but some of them just a year they want to forget. So of the 8 teams that didn't make it, let's start at the top. The Rabbitohs, Woodsy, didn't make it.
Oh, South Sydney, they're coming first after round 11. A lot of talk that they were going to be the heavyweight competition favourites.
I put them as premiers.
Yeah, so did I.
Like premiership favourites.
Mate, so did I. Let me down.
Once you did it, once you put them off on them.
After that streak, they beat Penrith, they beat Broncos.
And Melbourne.
Yep. I was like, well, they got the goods.
They're home. And then Latrell got the calf injury. A lot of speculation. A lot of things have been said. Our man here, Maroon, had a few choice words, and I think we've got a little bit of the audio to play from that.
I think he was a better player at the Roosters.
I think you're a bit harsh.
Well, maybe I'm a bit harsh, but it's not a good look when you're a paid member of a club and this bloke, the club's won 4 games since May, and this bloke's up on stage with some country
you're
in
another
Western.
bloke who's just,
yes,
that's
I
ridiculous.
am another one of these blokes. And
that's ridiculous.
Let me say this too. Rod Churchill, he's not a paid member of the football club. I don't think he's entitled to say what he wants, but I am a paid member of the football club. And while the club's going so shithouse, it's not a good look for this bloke to be away at Rabbitohs. I don't care whose Rabbitoh it is.
Man,
and I don't care whose concert it is. South come first, or he can go and play somewhere else.
Well, so you were pretty harsh in your criticism there, Maroon. Do you still think and believe in what you said?
I have believed in what I said since day one.
Yep.
I totally believe. I love my club. I'm a paid member, so I think I can have my say. And I'm only saying this for the sake of this argument. I volunteer my services to the club. It's the greatest sporting club with the greatest story. You could make a movie about it. But I have never been overly on the Latrell Mitchell bandwagon. And
Since day one.
I really, if I'm being completely honest, I never have really been 1,000% on board, you know?
Do you think your perception change if you're winning and he does that shoey on stage? Does your perception change?
Well, I think if we're winning and he does that, you probably go, oh well, he probably deserves it. But the point I make, like as I always say, I'm the worst rugby league player ever. I was.
No, you're a paid member.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
And I work in the rugby league industry, so I
Yep.
say to my wife from March to October, don't book me anything,
Yeah.
because there's football on, right?
Yeah.
Now this bloke is a very highly paid NRL player. He needs to, in my opinion, not be on stage with a country and western singer, not to be at a rodeo when his team's won 4 games since May 19.
So you're just basically solely putting it on him. So what about the likes of Colin Matangi, Cam Murray, Cook, ones that have come back tomorrow? Do you think they've played the best footy they can?
No, I don't. And I'm not solely putting it on him. I think there are, I don't want to say names, but I think there are other players in that side.
Then why do you want to say one name?
Well, because it's like the old saying, if you stick your head up, someone's going to knock it off. I mean, then the guy, he's out injured, he comes back, and then he gets suspended after he has a very ordinary game anyway. I mean, as a supporter, I like to, I just don't know how much you have to take before you're allowed to say something.
No, well, I think for me, right, first of all, Reedy needs to just pipe down and stop interrupting you when you get stuff off your chest, because that was making it worse. But like, this is
Frustrating.
The amount you care for the club and your passion that is rugby league.
Yeah.
That is what makes the game so great, because people, supporters, members, paying members, they do support their club. And, I feel like the slide, all a member and fan, in my opinion, wants to see is a player or whoever's wearing that jersey represent the club in the best way they can, represent the jersey with respect, and go out there and give it their all. If they go out there and give it their all, they dot their T's, they cross their I's,
Yes.
they get out there and they give it a crack, you're happy. You're happy to see it. You're happy to go there and support the club. But when there's speculation and innuendo, when there's injuries, when things aren't clicking, when you're hearing all the noise, when there's drinking, and all of a sudden you're not playing footy at the same time, you're right, you're given an excuse or a reason possibly for the talk to start, the members to start on that. And you go, well, I care so much. I invest my money. I invest my time. I just want to see that same level of investment from the club and from the staff. And, unfortunately, if they're winning and everything's going well, do as you please. But if you're not winning and you're not going well, maybe you got to tighten up the ship a little bit.
Yeah. And
But I'm not going to solely put it on the players.
No.
I think, for me, just going back a while, a big red flag for me was still the decision to let Adam Reynolds go. Like, for me, that was a red flag. It was
Look
a
at
red flag.
Broncos.
It was a red flag. Like, you look at the likes of Daly Cherry Evans still playing.
How hard did we try to get him to Cronulla?
Yeah, we were pushing Renault for, we were trying to get in there every day, because at that stage we hadn't signed Nico and we didn't know the trajectory that Nico was going to take off on, right? But that's a little red flag for me. Like, that's a decision that's made at management level that says, hang on a minute, maybe, they're going to let a local junior go, a guy who's given them so much success, so much service. Red flag. All right, we're not in there 4 wars. We don't know everything that's going on, but it's a little question mark, right? The Sam Burgess stuff that's happened this year, not in there 4 wars, don't know what's going on, doesn't concern me. But for me, little bit of a question mark. So I don't think you can solely put this on the players. I think it starts from the top and goes down, and behaviours that, are set from the top and go down. I think, the question marks are only going to get louder unless they come out. It won't even matter if they come out next year and are leading the comp after 11 rounds again, because this year's happened. This has been the biggest slide ever. So I think, and heaven forbid that they don't start next season well, because then the noise will really start to go. They are such a big and proud club. The moment that there's any issues there, or they're not going as well as they should be going, or perceived to be going, the noise is going to start. And now it's up to them at the club. We heard Demetrio after that games, there's going to be a deep internal review.
He
And
put a
that's,
lot of stuff back onto himself too with the.
well, it's got to, I think everyone needs to do that. Like, if you're not having a good season, players, staff, coaching, performance, you start with yourself, right? You start with the man in the mirror. You work out where I could have been better. What more could have I done for the team, for the club? And let's make sure we're not in this situation again.
I think you hear a couple of comments he's made. Like, he said that I think Lachlan Ilias will be the best halfback this club's ever had. Like, you're just putting an amount of pressure on the kid. You know, you don't need to be doing that. And you've had the likes of, Craig Coleman and Craig Field come out and bag the club. You want those blokes to be on the board. So I just think, like you said, Wade, if they can just knuckle a few things down in the back room, get it going forward. It was like disappointing to see a club legend in Sam Burgess go, which a lot of people wouldn't want to, but they've just got to move forward and just start again.
Anyway, boys, you're finished for the year, Woodsy, so we'll probably spend a bit of time together. And we wish you all the best, Wado, this coming week.
Thank you. I'm a week-to-week proposition, but
You'll be right, mate.
That week we lose, I'm looking forward to unemployment on the other side.
No, we want Wado to get to the grand final for his 300th game.
Absolutely.
You're trying to manifest that?
I want it, mate. I'm manifesting it.
Now, we're going to leave it there. Thank you for joining us on Footy Talk today on the Listener Podcast.